Let's go now to White House correspondent Kristin Fisher and the administration under fire and digging in. All right, good evening, Kristin. There's been a lot made about the terminology being used here. What's the latest from the White House?
Well, the White House is continuing to call the situation at the border a challenge, but not a crisis. Whatever you call it, the situation has gotten so bad that President Biden is now instructing that a team of his senior advisors should be sent to the border to brief him on the situation about what's happening there and see what else could be done. But the fundamental underlying policy that Republicans say is causing this problem at the border is not up for debate. I asked the White House press secretary Jen Psaki today if, based on all of these data points, based on all of the numbers about this surge of unaccompanied minors at the border now reaching potentially record levels, I asked her if the administration was at all considering reversing its policy of potentially allowing all unaccompanied minors that come to the border to enter the United States, and she said definitively no. So I then asked her, is there a limit? Is there a cap in terms of how many unaccompanied children are allowed into the border? And she didn't really answer the question. She said, I think this issue requires us taking a step back as human beings and as mothers. Shannon.
Yeah, and Kristin, I know that was something that you both connected on. Of course, as mothers, you have great compassion for what is happening there. It is a terrible situation. We actually have some of your exchange with her, so let's play that, and then we'll get a little bit more explanation from you.
Don't the American people deserve to get the data straight from you and straight from the White House?
Data of projected numbers in internal documents for policy discussions?
Data about how many unaccompanied children and migrants are crossing the border on a daily basis.
It is made public by the Department of Homeland Security and the officials who oversee the entire process.
Can you confirm how many illegal border crossings there are on average every day right now?
I would send you to the Department of Homeland Security and CBP, who of course would be overseeing that process.
And as part of that conversation today, Kristin, you learned a little bit more about, and you pressed her on this issue of all these children who are involved too. We're learning a little bit more about some other plans that they may have, things they may have to trigger to use to actually house some of those children. What did you learn?
Yeah, so the spokesperson for the Pentagon confirmed today that Health and Human Services officials did a site survey yesterday at Fort Lee in Virginia. And so they are seriously considering converting some military bases into temporary housing for these migrants. And there's also been a lot of reporting in both the Washington Post and the New York Times that the Biden administration is now converting immigrant facilities in South Texas along the border there into rapid processing centers. And so the whole idea is to get them in and out in 72 hours, which is what they are technically required to do. You may remember in the Trump administration, a lot of those children, of course, were held in those facilities for longer periods of time. And so the Biden administration is going to great lengths to avoid that. But in the process, you have former President Donald Trump putting out this lengthy statement today, really blasting the Biden administration over completely reversing so many of his immigration policies. And so that's what we're hearing over and over from Republicans again is, what did the Biden administration expect? If you roll back all of these stricter immigration policies, especially in the middle of a pandemic when you have all of these coronavirus related spacing restrictions, what did you expect? And we're hearing a lot from both Texas Republicans and Democrats on the border who are very concerned that this is only the beginning of the problem and that it's going to, of course, get much worse. Shannon.
Yeah, as you know, bipartisan pushback and a number of Democrats increasingly out of Texas raising the alarm because this is their border and they're there and these are their constituents seeing it every day. Kristin Fisher on the White House beat for us tonight. Thank you very much.